Morning, Abotai. Erev Shabbat Shalom. We've been speaking about some of the halachot of Kibud Avayim in the past few weeks, and about changing names. An interesting halacha that Maran Zichron Bracha brings down is the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, Daf Yutet Amud Bet. The Gemara says that if a person raises an orphan child in his home, it's considered that he gave birth to him. It's a tremendous, tremendous zechut. And we learn that from Michal Bat Shaul, who raised her sister's children. Mirav, which was her sister, she wasn't able. She died and she left over her children. Michal raised them, and therefore these children were called the children of Michal. We see how great that is. Now, Maran Zichron Bracha, quoted by the Alkut Yosef and Abelut, writes that that's not only when a child is orphaned. Even there are certain situations where a person's parents are still alive, a child's parents are still alive, and for whatever reason, they can't take care of the child. And then these other people take the child in, either as foster or adoptive parents. That's equally as great as zechut. And Maran Zichron Bracha says that if after they pass away, the adopted child should say Kaddish on their behalf, and it is just as powerful as a biological child saying Kaddish. Now, we find another interesting thing, that if it is, let's say, the child was adopted at a very young age, and it would be, it would be nice, or it would be respectful to the adopted parents if you would take on their last name. In our generation, we have last names. If they would take on the last name, it would give them a lot of nachat. Maran Zichron Bracha writes that he should do that. That child, he or she, should take on that adoptive parent's last name in order to give him kavod. We find the ra'ayat to that. The Maran Achida in Sefer Kikar La'aden quotes one of the great acharonim that's quoted. He wrote a lot, and many acharonim quote him all the time. His name was Hagan Rabbi Gabriel Esperanza. What was his story? He was orphaned at a very young age, and a woman in Spain, her name was Esperanza, which means hope, tikva in Spanish. She took him in, she raised him, she got him tutors and rebbeim, and she paid for his education in Torah. And when she passed away, as a tribute to her, because she took him in and she really grew him into who he became, he adopted her name as his last name. Rabbi Gabriel Esperanza is kavod to her. So we see that a person should be makir tova in situations like that, and give kavod and tribute where it's due to those who were really moser nefesh, dedicated themselves in order to raise him. Just a reminder about this week's haftarah. In many chumashim, if you look, it only shows the Ashkenazi haftarah for this week's parasha. For Ashkenazim, it's in Hosea Yud Bet, Vayivrach Yaakov Sede Aram. That's for Ashkenazim. For Sfaradim, if you open the Chumash, many of them don't have it. For Sfaradim, it's also in Hosea, but Perek Yud Aleph. Ve'amit teluim limshuvati. So don't make a mistake. Even if it's not in the Chumash, you should try to find the Chumash that does have the haftarah. Keminhag Sfaradim ve'edot Mizrach. Have a wonderful day. Shabbat Shalom. Mincha Kabbalat Shabbat and Arvit is at 4:05. Bezat Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.